taking a look at COVID. Now, this is for the early spring, so we're looking at the rest of March and April. So, is it going to mutate and turn into a thing that kills us all? Is it going to come from the animals? Because may have had a dream about that, but there are stories about a bunch of deer having it. But let's just see what we got going on. Is this stuff coming back? Is it going to evaporate and become like the regular flu, or what the deal is? So, random word, monkey flip, random number 12. 12, it seems to be 12 a lot lately. All right. So, we get a reversed Three of Wands as our root card, and a Three of Swords as the center. Well, I'm we're gonna do the what leads up to it and where it goes on this Three of Swords, because there's a couple different ways to read this, but we do have two threes so far. The Five of Swords leading up to it, and the King of Pentacles on the other side. Okay. The Three of Wands is all of this energy that this person has grown and grown, and it's like patient nurturing of this thing, right? When this turns upside down, it usually shows something that a person is very invested in, and it's a fear that it will be taken away. Now, immediately when I saw this, what I started thinking of is basically all of the bullshit control that comes with COVID, right? And oh, you got to wear a mask, you got to get a vaccine, you got to fucking do all this shit. And this could be just like a reaction to feeling like all of that is going to be taken away. And I'm assuming that this is all of the people that are heavily invested in it. Um, Obviously, the pharmaceutical companies would be some of the people who are heavily invested, and basically anyone who likes to control other people would be heavily invested in it, all and people who are genuinely afraid of this stuff. So, the main card is the Three of Swords, and that is heartbreak and betrayal. So, as it comes off of the three, I mean, to me, this would say like it's kind of not being as much of a thing, and that is causing some feelings of heartbreak and betrayal in people. Now, this could also be me, as I think it's not being so much of a thing, me feeling betrayed as, the fucking world goes back into lockdown or whatever. So, as we look and see what leads up to it, so we have a Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands is a bunch of people fighting. It's chaos. It's like a bunch of different, maybe agendas or energies fighting against each other, kind of competing, right? So we have this competition between these things. Now it leads up to this Three of Swords, and eventually it leads to the King of Pentacles, which is like the wise investor and the businessman. So out of this heartbreak, it looks like somebody is gonna make some money. Um, Now, I'm just gonna pull one more card as kind of a straight up. This is basically saying, is the virus coming back in a huge way, or not? And the card that comes out is the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups is about confusion. Now, the way that I would um, translate that is there are probably a number of different realities, and it might be really bad in some places and not bad in others. And it's also probably true that there's going to be a bunch of different narratives that people are going to be presented with. So people are going to be presented with this like spinning crazy illusion, and there might not be a lot of truth there. At any rate, the confusion is the thing. Now, this also did show up when I did a reading about the long term effects of vaccines. The nine showed up as like the main card, which I've later translated as like confusion to the immune system. But in this case, I think that the Nine of Cups is just showing that there's a bunch of different realities. So is it going to come back huge? Maybe it will in some places, and maybe it won't in others. But I would translate this as the people who are heavily invested in COVID kind of feel a certain amount of betrayal in the Three of Swords. And ultimately, this is going to lead toward the King of Pentacles and somebody making a bunch more money. I would assume that that means like there probably will be more restrictions. I don't think the vaccine mandates and shit like that are going to be stricken from the record, because, you got to keep these fucking companies making all the money. And we'll probably be presented with some sort of smoke screen. Um, Now, I'm just going to pull a mortal danger card, right? So, I think it's on the top. So, from the virus itself, is there any mortal danger? Um, and we get the Queen of Wands, which is a difficult card to like come up with a yes or no answer. But the Queen of Wands isn't, it's not like the Tower or Ten of Swords or anything like that. The Queen of Wands, on its face, this is being recognized for your beauty and charm and all of that. I would not take that as a sign of mortal danger. Um, I got to look a little closer at this to see what it is that's sticking out. I'm kind of feeling like this leaf thing, you know, is what's really sticking out on the image. And um, in this specific case, I think it kind of looks like a bug, you know? This looks like some kind of bug. So I wonder if I'm worried about this, if it's going to be like transmitted through mosquitoes or some shit like that. But I think if there was a straight up mortal danger, like, this thing's going to kill everybody, it would have shown up in a different way than the Queen of Wands. But maybe it's going to start being transmitted through some sort of insect. And maybe it already has. But that's what we get. It looks like people are still going to make money, and the folks that are heavily invested are going to fear that their investment is going to be taken away, and they will feel really bad about that. But at the end of the day, they'll probably still get paid. If you have any questions or comments on this, or any requests for another reading topic, feel free to let me know. And peace.